Okay, so we're here near the conclusion of the Cycling Congress here in Newfoundland. We're with Greg Mathieu, the CEO of Cycling Canada. And Greg, it's always great to meet with everybody again and have the whole team together. And as was said in the presentation last night, that everybody in the sport of cycling that's going to make something happen was there. And so when you look at this weekend and see what's been going on, give us your assessment of how it's been going.
Well, I guess overall the first part is we're happy with the year. There's been a lot of positives within the year since the last time we got together. Certainly the provinces, each of them have taken steps forward in terms of their engagement in some of the major areas, coaching certification, commissar development, event standards, delivering a better product to their members, and for us, of course, making sure that we're setting the proper funnel towards the high performance structure that we're so much responsible for. When we talk to them about high performance, I think some of the provinces are very engaged because they do have the volume of riders and the level of riders that are making it to the national program. And then for some, they look at it more as the Canada Games level. And so we have a lot of discussions at different levels about different steps along the long-term athlete development model pathway that are getting our athletes into the system. And overall, I think we're finding things are improving, but we also find when we have a chance to get together at an annual conference like this that there are areas that we can improve on as well.
For sure. One of the things that, of course, the focus coming up, as we end this season and next season being the Rio Olympic Games, talk a little bit about the focus for next year and how you see things going.
Well, coming out of this Pan Am year, I think we had a lot of opportunities to test ourselves in terms of how the team works, not just our team of support staff, but how the people that we bring in as mechanics and physiotherapists and masseurs and the people that come in from the outside who aren't working with us on every single day, but how they meld into a team and support our athletes. And the Pan Ams were a great indicator of the growth of that, the level of support, the common purpose that people now believe in. So as the organization advances, as we become more systematic in how we approach things, I think we're getting better results and better buy-in from people because you're not necessarily dependent on a coach or an athlete doing something. The system is now starting to produce consistent results and sustainable results over time. So when we turn the page into 2016, we have to make sure that we don't take any focus off of the Rio Olympic and Paralympic Games, because it's going to take everything we have to get the medals that are available to us. And it's not that we're going to run the table like we did at Pan Am. So we're in this world level of international competition where everybody's upping their game. And our hope is that we've upped our game to the extent that we've passed a few of the other countries in some critical areas. We have athletes that are known quantities or teams like the women's team pursuit, but we have emerging athletes that are pushing into the top 8s and top 5s in their world competitions as well. So those people are coming up, and we want to make sure that if they have a shot at the Olympics, that they're going to have optimal daily training opportunities and the best conditions possible. So that side of it is sort of, we're going to preserve that and make sure that everything that we can do to lay claim to those medals that we have potential at, that we do. On the other side of it, you have to keep the system going because we have a number of athletes who are the next generation that are, if they're not going for Rio 2016, then they're pointed to Tokyo for 2020. And in past years, we had a real drop-off as we got into Olympic year, in the sense that we just took almost all of our resources and put them into that team that was going to the Olympics. But this time, because of planning, because of, as I say, a systemic approach, and because of having some more resources from our funding partners like On the Podium, Canadian Olympic Committee, and Sport Canada, we have a next-gen program where we have next-gen coaches, and their job is to keep their eye on 2020. So that allows you to keep that group of athletes moving at the same time as you're narrowing down your focus on the 2016. So we have those 2 tracks, but they're going to be very independent this year. And then we have all the other things that we do as a national organization to make sure that the coaches get certified, that the officials get accredited, that our events are held at a high standard, and that we continue to build the value proposition for people to become partners of Cycling Canada.
A lot going on behind the scenes when we come to the events and see race day. There's a lot going on to actually get the athletes there and make sure that everything's optimal.
Yeah, absolutely. And even this year we took a big step forward. The Canadian Olympic Committee was helpful with Deloitte, and we did an exercise called the National Sport Federation Best in Class Initiative, and sort of examined the whole number of organizational areas. And there's some collective results on behalf of all the sports, Olympic sports in Canada, and there were individual results for us as cycling. And the areas that came out for all sports were areas that are almost predictable: sponsorships, partnerships, fundraising. And almost all sports are struggling or not maximizing those areas. So, we went into this initiative, and we had the opportunity to work with InOcean Worldwide Canada on the Hop On campaign. They came to us in a pro bono fashion. Their ideas were fantastic. Being able to put them in action had a cost to it, and the Canadian Olympic Committee helped us out with those costs. So the Hop On campaign is live and well, and it'll continue to grow into the Rio Games and hopefully beyond.
In that light, you also hired Matt Jeffries as a marketing director, which seems like a very potent plan to implement or improve some of the marketing. Your communication with Cycling Canada has really improved over the years. Is the same prognosis or game plan in line with Matt's hiring?
Yeah, so Matt came in at the end of June, and of course he hit the train moving pretty fast at that time, as he was right into Pan Am Games and then Parapans and the Grand Prix races in Montreal and Quebec, and it just keeps going. But your point is well taken. Matt has a proven track record with Cross Country Ski Canada. He also has the analytical ability to know the difference between what we need to do and what is possible for us to do, and where to put the primary focus. And that's been part of the discussion here with the board this weekend, and we'll continue tomorrow about where to put the limited resources we have for that overall marketing communication area to get the best result for the amount of dollars we can put into it now, with the idea that those dollars continue to grow and allow us to grow the marketing communication area over time, because it's definitely a need that we have to have more funds that are not attached to specific funding partners and have a little more discretion for us to use them.
Sure, and with the results you've been having, and with the potential results, it's always good to be able to leverage those into new partners and keep that wheel turning. If you take an assessment of the entire year and this weekend, any just closing kind of comments that you would have?
Well, I think we're pleased, but we're not satisfied. There's areas that we have to go further on. We're pleased that the Pan American Games were done so well. We're pleased that our athletes competed so well on behalf of Canada and brought home the medals that they did. But we still know there's more to do, and that work never really stops. We're at an interesting point, I think, in that we've brought in coaches, we brought in technical leadership. We've really turned programs into very much athlete-centered programs that are trying to get the very best opportunities and optimal performances for the athletes. I think there's a good level of recognition of that, and what we have to do is make sure that we can sustain it. And people look at our track program and go, wow, what a breakthrough. Well, in reality, we won 6 medals at the Pan Ams on the backs of 5 people, 3 male sprinters and 2 female sprinters. And that's pretty thin. You'd like to have about double that number. And we're not going to have double that number until 2 or 3 years from now, when the young kids that are coming into the programs in Milton and other places start to evolve and emerge. So that's the area that we have to keep working on, because we can't be satisfied that we have enough frontline athletes, because we don't. And in fact, it's sort of a universal problem in Canada, the depth of the talent pool.
Sure.
And that's a product of not being able to attend to that next generation of athletes while you're trying to win Olympic medals. It's always been one or the other. And now, I think for some of the bigger sports, and we're starting to get into that category, we're doing both. And so there'll be proof of the pudding for the current cohort of athletes in 2016 in Rio, but there'll be more proof for the system in 2020 in Tokyo.
Well, I think some of the fact that there were record athletes at the track nationals is a good sign, and
Absolutely.
And we want to wish you all the best with your plan. It sounds like it's going in the right direction, and being able to work with the top tier athletes and the next gen is the key, as you say. And it sounds like you're on the right track, Greg. We want to thank you for spending time with us and wish you all the best going forward.
Thanks very much, Ben, and for your continued support.
Thank you.